Salutations! I'm StarLotus77, and today we've got the Spade shotgun. You know, I mean, like, this weapon's been dogged on by a lot of people. It's not up. It's a sticky shotgun. It's not up there with like the 18 times bang stick or the red line shotgun, but this weapon has a pretty unique effect with it being able to pierce enemies when it's leaving the stickies. So this weapon was brought up to me in a K6 comments in a K6 comments section. It was just like somebody asked, like they were saying that they wish that the Spade was good, and I'm just like, I'll make it good. I'll freaking do that. So that's what we're doing. I've got one more video planned for this weekend already with a build, so stay tuned for that. That one's gonna be another Flak build. I've been doing Flak recently. This has been super fun. If you guys want me to switch back to, if you guys have like any specific character requests or want me to switch back to Zane or whatnot, leave it in the comments. But I've been enjoying doing stupid gun stuff with Flak right now. So build breakdown. We have the Spade shotgun does sticky stuff. We have all these other items over here. The only thing that really matters, because like these two items, it's difficult to use them just simply because of how fast this weapon reloads, because you only get one shot, unless maybe if you double up on mag passives, if you double up on mag passives, maybe, but I'm not doing that. What I'm doing with this is shoot and reload. That's gonna be the way that we deal damage with this. I have a revolter on. A way to substitute that, if you were going to do anything, to be like a stopgap for survivability. And what you could do is replace the action skill end anoint with shock next to mag's shock, and then switch to like rack attack, because that's gonna proc your action skill end stuff faster, because you're constantly gonna need the next two mag stuff. Or you could switch this to shock instead of it being grenade throw, and then you can still run fade away. But either way, here's the skill tree. And yeah, let's get started. All right, we're going in.
All right.
Have you seen what's all been going down on the Helldiver side of things recently?
Is that with the PSN account?
Yes and no.
I heard because the review bombs are so heavy that they like reverted the change or something like that.
So,
like the Steam players got so angry that like they reverted all the changes.
So they reverted the direct thing. Like they reverted the. Can I like? Okay, there we go. I need to turn that down, so I can't freaking hear. So they reverted the PSN requirements, but it's still currently only accessible in countries that require that have PSN accessibility.
So isn't it like 100 or something countries that cannot play the game now, or something like 160 or something? I was seeing something about it. Like,
yeah, and it's
kind of crazy.
I think there's been more added to that list that have access to PSN.
That's a little wild. I'm glad they reverted the changes, but I feel like they didn't really fix anything. Because I think people were angry about the PSN account, but they're also angry that a lot of people couldn't play the game
because of the PSN account. That was the whole point of the PSN revolt, was because of the amount of people that couldn't play.
Yeah. So it kind of feels counterintuitive.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So you said the shotgun's from Bounty of Blood, right?
Yep.
So it pierces through enemies, but also sticks. Is that what you were saying beforehand?
Yes.
So has it ever been in the meta? Has it been any good? Because I've never heard anything about it.
No, so. It's always been dogged on.
Oh, it's been dogged on. Okay.
I literally got the idea for this video from a K6 comment section because somebody said that they wished it was good.
Really? So you're like, screw it, I'm gonna make it good myself? I'm
Yep.
gonna put things in my own hands? Alright, I respect it. We're running fadeaway? What are you doing?
I'm running 3-shot fade. Actually, I can just
3-shot
stream into
fade.
Discord for you.
But...
I'm not used to having people in here that actually care about Borderlands. Most of the time, they're just here for the news.
Oh my goodness. I mean, I'm kind of excited to be able to watch the Borderlands movie, but I feel like I just know it's gonna be crap. Like, I just know it's just not gonna be good. I'm gonna go into it knowing it's gonna be terrible. It's just gonna like, I hope they just drop some like BL4 teaser or something in the movie. That'd be fire. That's probably not gonna happen. But
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they did. But it's also one of those things where it's like, I don't want them to, just because I don't want them to rush BL4.
like, I wonder if they're gonna do a thing kind of similar to how they did with BL3. They release a whole expansion for the game beforehand. So like, Borderlands 2 had that whole Commander Lilith DLC, which added a bunch of new content. It did break the scaling a little bit, but I feel like it'd be cool if they did something similar to Borderlands 2, like increase the level cap, add a new campaign, getting ready for
Let's not increase the level cap, please. But
never
adding a
know,
new
though.
DLC would definitely be fire.
I think it would bring a lot more life to the game.
A level increase? We already
Oh,
have...
nobody wanted more LP levels in BL2, but it decided to add 2 more plus 8 levels and broke the scaling.
Yeah,
But I'm
it
sure that
also,
won't be a
like,
problem for you, but
Killed
still.
a lot of potential off-meta builds. The higher the levels go, the less actual build diversity there are after a certain point.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, it would be amazing if they decided to fix the Mayhem system. That would be a better update than level increase.
I just think they need to like fix, like they need to redo the formula for Endgame for Borderlands, because I feel like especially with, like Wonderlands, especially with like Chaos Chambers, it got repetitive really quick, and they were trying to like change it from BL3 because nobody really liked the Mayhem system, and I feel like they kind of did it worse in Wonderlands because like doing the same task over and over, kind of similar to the Peak, is not really like beloved by players.
It wasn't just that. I mean, the system itself was cool at first. The problem is that was the only system, and it went up to 100 instead of 10.
Yeah.
And all of the content in it was repeat stuff from the main storyline. With new modifiers, which is the part that everybody hated about Mayhem levels, was modifiers.
The modifiers? Yeah. For sure. I mean, I think I like kind of how, especially with BL3, they kind of did respond to the player base a little bit by doing Mayhem 11 in the later updates, which I think worked out pretty well, but like there's a trade-off there, no modifiers but less XP and less loot, which makes sense.
Well, it's not even, that's just a visual bug that they
really?
fixed.
Just doesn't matter?
It has the same drop rates as Mayhem 10.
Oh. Cool. So you just don't get the headache of the modifiers. I mean, there's like a couple good ones that are helpful, like Speed Demon and stuff, but like that's about it. Everything else kind of sucks.
I feel like a way to solve this problem, because I know there are still some people that like playing with Mayhem 10.
Yeah.
I mean, like some builds, it actually increases build diversity with having some of those different variants. There were some builds that I still run that require M10 and can't use M11 just simply because specific modifiers make it that much more viable.
Yeah, for sure.
When it comes to fixing the Mayhem system, I feel like one of the first things that they should do is make modifiers overall optional and not just be M11.
True. I think that is something they should do, but I also feel like in BL4 with the Endgame, they should make it, because I feel like, especially with OP10 and BL2, and I feel like Mayhem 11, like I feel like Borderlands 2 did a better job of making Endgame more accessible for like the casual player, but I feel like they need to put it back a little bit less, because I feel like a lot of people get overwhelmed by the like health pools, like I didn't even know how to like when Mayhem 10 first came out. I was really overwhelmed because like I couldn't kill anything with the gear that I had, and I couldn't farm. I was like super angry about it. So I think they should revert the scaling back a little bit to appeal more to the casual player, or like have an option to have similar like drop rates and stuff, but less health. But I mean, I guess I don't know.
That's kind of crazy because it's like the opposite of what the entire community thinks.
Really?
Oh yeah. Now there's a lot of people who are just like that Borderlands 3 is too easy. Overall. It's just too easy of a game, which I can definitely see that too. When it comes to Borderlands 3, it's a lot more on the if you have the meta gear already, it's extremely easy. But if you don't, then it's a lot more on the skill side of things. You just have to get better at the game to really farm all that stuff and be better at it. There's also the difference of it being when it initially launched versus current stuff.
So how's the shotgun's performing pretty well? I'm seeing right now. Not too crazy, but. So what are you running Revolter? Or what are you doing?
I'm running Revolter right now, but theoretically, to replace it. Oh my lord! Can I like not get? My lord! I just got spam killed by AOE nonsense. The problems with Flak.
Oof.
Having no form of health regen or life steal.
Poor Flak and his survivability.
I mean, like, his survivability is good if you have access to either Fadeaway or Gamma Burst.
Yeah, for real.
Unless you're stuck in an explosive wave of Bridge, because Bridge sucks.
Yeah. Have you ever really played any FromSoft games, or no? Is that really not your thing?
I don't think I've tried any.
Yeah, because I've been playing Sekiro for the past, like, couple weeks, and I've been really enjoying it.
Ooh.
Like, it's, like, all about parrying, and I'm a sucker for a good parry system. And, dude, it's just been, like, a great experience so far. It's, like, hard, but, like, I've been enjoying it a lot. I heard Elden Ring's pretty good, but I heard it's too easy.
And I mean, like, I remember when I was younger, I tried Dark Souls 2, but it's like, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, DS2 is like 2012, like 12 years ago. I've hit Unk status, dude. Oh my god. I feel like I've been seeing stuff. I'm like, oh my goodness, I feel so old. Even though I'm like barely an adult, I just feel super young still. Or super old still. Barrel, barrel, barrel.
You know, I feel like a way to balance the Mayhem system a little bit more would be, instead of just having super high health enemies and then not freaking be unique, add more of like the more unique style enemies, like the BAs or anointed enemies to the spawn pool, and increase damage scaling of enemies and not just their HP value.
So yeah, I'm not really super familiar with BL3, but do they have different enemy variants for the Mayhem levels, or is it all just the same guys just buffed?
Actually, they reduce the enemy types in the Mayhem levels.
I feel like it'd be cooler to have like special enemies once you get into the more of the end game. Yeah. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Anointed enemies show up in the storyline, and then you like never see them again.
That's so weird.
I mean, like, lore-wise, it makes sense. The person who is making them anointed dies, so it's like,
yeah.
I get it, but I'm also just like, they're really cool enemies. If their functionality was kind of whack when it came to actually trying to kill them. Maybe making them less buggy would be helpful, but once they fix the enemy, they would be really cool to have as like a stand-in BA for more challenging content.
Yeah, for sure. I wonder, do you think they're definitely gonna add takedowns in the new Borderlands game, because I feel like they're super well received. And it adds so much replayability. I mean, look, we're in 2024 and you're still making content off the takedowns they released in 2020, 2019.
Oh, yeah.
Like, so I feel like it adds a lot more replayability to the game if they make more like endgame gauntlets, which that's what I really enjoy about BL3 is all the endgame content. Like, they do it better than pretty much any other game, Borderlands game.
You know, the main downside to this build when it comes to survivability is the shotgun itself, because when it pierces, it hits the ground and explodes if I'm like slightly down or whatnot. So I'm still adjusting to that in my gameplay, but it's like even then it's not that significant comparison to just like the quantity of AoE that's happening overall.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I feel like a lot of these off-meta items, like, people expect them to be, like, unusable in the, not the current, I guess, the meta in BL3, but I feel like the good thing about BL3 is a lot of diversity, which allows for a lot of guns to be used like what you're doing right now. It's like, that's another thing I really like about the game is, unlike something like Borderlands 2, where you can only use, like, 5 different weapons in the endgame, I feel like the diversity is a lot better, which makes the overall experience a lot more fun.
Oh yeah, I enjoy that a lot as well. There's a lot of people who don't. There's a lot of people who actually think that it's better to have less build diversity in the end game because when it comes to raid content.
To raid bosses?
Yeah, takedown and raid boss level content.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it's supposed to be difficult.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, I think they did well with the raid boss content. There's only one raid boss, right, technically? Vermivorous or whatever? Or is there, is the trials count as raid bosses?
Okay, so nobody cares about the 17 raid boss K6 video.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm like, there's no other 17 raid bosses in Borderlands 3.
But he included all of the trials bosses and Ista and whatnot. It's like, that's not really. They're not really raid bosses. They're really high health enemies. They're not raid bosses.
Yeah.
Just because a boss has a lot of HP, that does not make him a raid boss.
Yeah. So what's to do with? So, I feel like. Is Ista DLC? He's from Hammerlock, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So I remember he drops a Skull Masher, and I remember everybody farming. I was like, oh my god, he has Invincible. It means he's a raid boss, but everyone like killed him and fade away Flak with the Monarch in like 2 seconds.
Yep.
Like,
you know, I mean, like, they really fumbled on the raid boss side of things in this game. I mean, like, Wotan's cool, but the mini boss variant of him shows up as like the Kraken earlier in the run, and then can you really consider the Valks as a raid boss? Their mechanics are cool, but they don't really have a. This is the point where it's like they don't have a high enough like survivability ratio for them to really be a raid boss. And their mechanics aren't all that.
For sure. I feel like Wotan is a good balance. He's definitely not a terrible boss. He's still fun to fight, and he has cool mechanics, but...
and the Guardian Takedown raid bosses are a joke.
Yeah, I just don't really like Guardian Takedown because of the length. I feel like Maliwan Takedown was the perfect blend of everything. Challenge bosses. I had 2 cool bosses in the middle and at the end, and I thought they did a really good job with that. I thought that's why it's the best takedown in my eyes. I could see the appeal for Guardian Takedown, but I'm not trying to spend like an hour most of the time.
Well, I feel like having content like Guardian Takedown is good, and the reason why I say that is because it's one of those like multiplayer-friendly takedowns. Because Maliwan Takedown, doing this in a multiplayer setting is no different than doing this in a single-player setting. You're just gonna... having more people doesn't really change your outcome here. Having more people in Guardian, it makes it a lot more... It makes it a lot more fun because you have other people to communicate with and be able to plan out getting through that hour-long raid. It's a lot more like a Destiny raid and why those are good.
Yeah.
Because there's a reason why Destiny raids are popular.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, because they're all pretty much team-based. Like, there's only a couple... I mean, a lot of them are soloable, but you have to be like a god-tier player. They're meant to be played with a group.
Yeah. I'll quickly do a Grave Ward run to finish out the video.
Gravy.
And this is a corrosive-based setup, so we're gonna see how this does against somebody who's resistant to corrosive damage. That wasn't that bad. Definitely could have been better. That wasn't that bad. Yeah, just simply because of how this gun functions, it makes it extremely difficult to stack up stickies.
Yeah.
It consumes a lot of ammo, and you're not getting enough. It just has too small of a mag to be able to use mag size increases to really fix that problem.
Yeah. Oh.
But yeah, that's the Spade. That's the Spade shotgun.
Oh yeah.